Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Teresa. How are you?
Excellent. How are you, Vladimir?
Great. Hi, Charles.
Hey, brother. Oh, like the do, man. Like the hairdo.
Hairdo. Okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is the what do Radha's changes in my life. She
Yes.
to tell me what to do. Yes, I follow. Hmm. Great. We are again here in this attempt to understand the sound and meaning and their relations. I do not know whether it was how was this what I was doing before. It was a little scientific, a little mixed with something intuitive, and today we will go straight to the sound. Yeah? So we will leave behind all those theories of connection of meaning and sound, all those Porter theories. Have you did I do not know. Did it help or not? That kind of overview that this is a problem of a long time. You know?
You're
Humanity.
asking for us to respond to that question?
Yes, yes.
Oh my God, that's so funny. It's like it's not the discovery of Sanskrit, it's the discovery of who we are
Mm,
at the deepest truth of it. And the Sanskrit is just a venue for
mm,
that. But that's what we're engaging in this conversation. And the other part of it that is so absolutely significant, and I really need your help with, everything that you're speaking about, I can relate to the field,
mm,
but I don't have the Vedic understanding to relate it back. So this is a real exercise in etymology. Everything that you're speaking about creates a gradient. The
mm,
skin is a gradient, and a gradient is what creates motion. And all motion is curved, and all curves are spiral, which is that torus feedback loop. And
mm,
it's all about these gradients. Um, the tongue touching the palate, that's a gradient. And the only the way that light is created, the way that all life and consciousness moves through itself is with motion. And what creates motion is the gradient. The temperature change in the surface of the ocean to the air that touches it, that temperature differential creates a movement within the air that eventually becomes a hurricane. And so the entire field, we have the local and the non-local, but we'll get into that. I'm so excited to be
mm,
a voyeur in the world of Sanskrit. It's
mm.
completely empowering. So thank you. Yes,
Thank you.
and
Thank you for
Teresa's got
these
her own
comments.
thing going. Wonderful. I'm just so happy. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. Right, and Teresa starts her journey into the Sanskrit language, which is yeah.
I'm ready.
Great, lovely. At least someone is ready, so we can start. um, yes, wonderful. If somebody wants to make some comments or some observations, please. I don't see anyone, only Teresa and Charles. Is it really the way of us interacting? You just switch off cameras and I am talking to the black this picture. Oh, hi, Bhavani, hi, Jeff Salhan, I see you, Preetu, Ben, and Rinko somewhere hiding also behind the screen. Mm, okay. Um, is there something you would like to say before I plunge into the big picture of the sound and relation, and how beautifully today Charles described that it is a discovery of ourselves, actually, where Sanskrit is only the means for this discovery. Uh, Maybe today I will start with with a poem, with a passage from Savitri where Sri Aurobindo, in his secret knowledge, describes these secret relations between sound and ourselves. Before I go there, if you want to say something, please go ahead. Just unmute yourself and say hello, namaste, something. Give some sound, vibration.
Yeah, so for me, it's been quite a discovery because we're discovering the literary side, and the language side, uh, of the Sanskrit language and uh, the vowels especially, which for me, I mean, I've done a little bit of chanting and stuff. And there's a lot of importance given to the vowels, but the way you've explained it is a little more different and more rooted, going back.
Yeah, going back to the origins, to the
Yeah, going back
embryology
to
of
the
things.
origin.
Yes,
Yeah.
of our psychology of articulation. Yes, great. Yeah, thank you for these remarks. So we're on the same page. Um, yeah, no, okay. Waiting if somebody wants to jump in. No, if not, I'm going ahead. All right. Okay, let me look into this particular passage from Savitri. I will start with the shorter version of this passage and end at the end with longer version. Today I just came across, it was in my file, but I find it appropriate to talk in this way. So let me project the passage in my... This is a passage from Savitri. I will start with the shorter version. We must fill the immense lacuna we have made, rewed the closed finite's lonely consonant with the open vowels of infinity. A hyphen must connect matter and mind, the narrow isthmus of the ascending soul. We must renew the secret bond in things. Our hearts recall the lost divine idea, reconstitute the perfect word, unite the Alpha and Omega in one sound. Then shall the spirit and nature be at one. Two are the ends of the mysterious plan. Now you can see that our language is not just a simple kind of bubbling or some kind of a reproduction of something which comes to you. It is that power which stands behind, which manifests all the worlds. And our task is unite the spirit and nature, that they will be one, Alpha and Omega in one sound. What does it mean, Alpha and Omega in one sound? It means Brihaspati's speech has to be manifested. That word where meaning and sound are one and the same. And once we have that consciousness, then the Alpha and the Omega is in one sound. Reconstitute the perfect word. Unite the Alpha and the Omega in one sound. Connect matter and mind, spirit and nature. The lonely consonant, closed finite's lonely consonant with the open vowels of infinity. this is a good beginning for us today. So if we look at what we did, this is the Varnamala, and so if you look at these simple vowels, which Aurobindo defines, actually, you can see, again, I'm coming to his definitions, that A, I, how the meaning and sound go together, is an absolute existence, being in its simplicity without any further idea or modification or quality, mere or initial being creative of space. So basically, it's quite clear if we pronounce R doesn't require any modulation. It doesn't have any modulation, neither by the tongue, nor by the lips, nor by the breath, by the way. So it's just a vibration of vocal cords. And that's it. And that vibration already is manifesting the existence in its absolute sense. Absolute because there is no modulation. There is nothing which is modifying or saying to us that we have to perceive it otherwise than it is, as it is. And if we look into E, it's already relative existence, an intense state of existence. E, being narrowed because the tongue is pushing to the hard palate, and so we have that state of consciousness in which we perceive it as the relative or forceful, insistent, tending to a goal, seeking to occupy space. When we move to U, so we have A, back tongue, E in the middle palatal, and U at the periphery, lips, or the surface of our self, of our face. It's a U is pervasive, contained, or progressive existence, so a wide, extended, but not diffuse state of existence, being medial and firmly occupant of space. It's like it's mouthful, it's full. Within there is a fullness. We can feel it. It takes even the whole nasal cave. It takes the whole brain, the whole head into this ooh sound. It's not just here on the periphery somewhere. And also because of two lips, there is a sense of mediation, the sense of connectivity in or duality or tension between two poles. And we will see it in the grammar, in the roots, everywhere. We will see that U has that particular color which manifests or constitutes those contextual significances in the roots and words and grammatical operations. And the drilling sound. So re is a vibrant state of existence, pulsing in space, being active about a point within a limit. There is a certain limit within it. It is active. It is hitting upon it again and again and again. It is not giving up. It is breaking through. Yeah? It is resisting it. It resists any change, any oppression, any modification. It is stubborn. It works upon one point, holds onto it, and breaks through it, and continues to break. Drill in. This is re. Very intense in energy, very intense in application. Yeah, more intense than others, because others are more fluid. They are in themselves. This one is touching and touching and touching, continuously touching the same point, works upon the same point. if we look into meaning in articulation, this is my text, a conscious attempt to articulate, I just tried to make it upside down, a conscious attempt to articulate the meaning of an undifferentiated state of, or movement or quality corresponds to sound A. When we take this apparatus as it is, biological, given to us, and we would like to make that undifferentiated state or movement where there is nothing determined or modified, then it will be this vibration of vocal cords, ah. And it will constitute as a sound ah. A conscious attempt to articulate the meaning of a particular or relative state or movement or quality corresponds to sound E. Intensive also. The conscious attempt to articulate the meaning of an interrelated state, movement or quality corresponds to sound U. And conscious attempt to articulate the meaning of a constant and firm state, movement or quality appears to correspond to sound RE. Now, these 5 simple vowels, we can describe the semantic relations of 5 simple vowels as follows. Using the term existence, if A is existence as such, E is relative existence, U is interrelated existence, essential sense of bliss, because it's always interrelated between consciousness and being. Constant existence. So, against all possible changes in time, space, or causality, being steady, it creates a resistance to everything that is opposing it, and thus a separation. So we can say it is a separating force of existence, cutting through, breaking. And Li is similar to Ri, with additional features of smoothness as a constant existence. So smooth, Panini does not distinguish between Ri and Lin. He says it is the same sound. And we can see what happens in Sanskrit language, that all the sounds with R change into L in the classical Sanskrit. We can see it also in Japanese language, where they don't distinguish between R and L, and it sounds very funny how they speak. It seems when Ri became cerebral, then Li was in the same position, and both of them belong to the same position. A little difference. One is cerebral, other is dental. And they are very close. And there is no distinction between them. Well, there is a distinction. One is one is breaking, another is blaking. One is, crashing, other is clashing. So there will be always this, very gliding, sliding, leaking sound, where it will be very smooth, sliding rather than crashing. So this is something on these 5 vowels which create 5 different levels of articulation. These are simple vowels, they are not mixed. Today we will speak on A and E vowel, on 2 vowels and their meanings. And see how they are applied in the grammar. So if we take these vargas, let me come to the alphabet again. You can see that each varga, we call them vargas, levels, or sthanas. Sthana is the place, varga is the row. So sthana is the 5 levels of articulation, 5 sthanas. There are gutturals, back tongue, ka, kha, ga, ga, ha, ha, and a also belongs there, though A is not totally guttural. It's more unrelated to anything. It's a vocal cords vibrating. But since we do not distinguish beyond gutturals, beyond the back tongue, there is vocal cords, and ha, they are a little lower, so they belong to that region from back tongue onwards, down. So we have a, and then we have ka. You see, they're closely related. A, ka, ka, ga, ga, ha, 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 all in the throat. A, ka, ka, ga, ga, ha, ha. If you do this, you will feel that only that involved, the back tongue, nothing else is involved. A, ka, ka, ga, ga, ha, ha. Then when we come to the palatals, we could see that there is a shift. The tongue is involved. The middle of the tongue is articulating E. So the tongue is with the middle pressing to the palate, E. And then we have cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ya, sha. All are articulated by the middle tongue and palate. Palate is the place where it is articulated. The middle tongue is the means which articulates. It's amazing. So, ka ka ga ga ha nga ha ha, che I, a ka ka ga ga nga ha ha, I che cha ja ja nya ya sha, all in one place, different modulations. And then re cerebrals, re, ta ta da da na, ra, sha, the heels over the teeth. And then li, ta ta da da na, la, sa, all the dentals. And then u, labials, pa pa ba ba ma wa fa. Perfect system. Nothing goes out of it. Everything is captured and everything is understood as it is properly located. Now, if this is the major system which gives us the first meanings, and if these meanings which Sri Aurobindo proposes are correct, and they seem to be totally correct, because when we analyze what is happening to our psychology in this articulation, we will feel the same way. We will feel that these are the varnas, the colors, the hues which generate this general significance, which is very difficult to break through to. We cannot easily understand that. We need to work it out. We need to meditate. We have to go deeper into this significance. So that's why he speaks here in this mysterious way of creation, Sri Aurobindo. How to unite Alpha and Omega into one sound. How to unite nature and spirit, the vowels and the consonants standing separately, representing matter, representing rigidity of matter, and vowels representing the fluidity and infinity of the spirit. These are good kind of metaphors. So here it's a bigger passage, which is amazing. I was reading today and I was wondering, Sri Aurobindo is knowledge incarnate. Look at this. A conjecture leaning upon doubtful proofs, a message misunderstood, a thought confused, missing its aim is all that it can speak, or a fragment of the universal word. This is our mind. A conjecture leaning upon doubtful proofs, a message misunderstood, a thought confused, missing its aim, is all that it can speak. Missing its aim is all that it can speak. We can speak how we don't get to the aim. And that's how we are indicating it. It's like a finger showing to the moon. It's just that finger we can speak. We cannot speak the moon. Or a fragment of the universal word. It leaves two giant letters void of sense. while without sanction turns the middle sign, carrying an enigmatic universe, as if a present without future or past, repeating the same revolution's whirl turned on its axis in its own inane. Thus is the meaning of creation veiled, that meaning which we want to unveil. For without context reads the cosmic page. And we have to learn to read the cosmic page without context. Not only contextual meanings, but the meanings which are beyond the context on the cosmic page. Its signs stare at us like an unknown script. That's what we try to read today. Unknown script. As if appeared screened by a foreign tongue or code of splendor signs without a key. A portion of a parable sublime. It wears to the perishable creature's eyes the grandeur of a useless miracle. It's totally identifying. It really feels like useless miracle, wasting itself that it may last a while. A river that can never find its sea. It runs through life and death on an edge of time. A fire in the night is its mighty action's blaze. This is our deepest need, to join once more, that now is parted, opposite and twine, remote in sovereign spheres that never meet, or fronting like far poles of night and day. We must fill the immense lacuna we have made, rewed the closed finite's lonely consonant with the open vowels of infinity. A hyphen must connect matter and mind, the narrow isthmus of the ascending soul. We must renew the secret bond in things. Our hearts recall the lost divine idea, reconstitute the perfect word, unite the Alpha and the Omega in one sound, then shall the Spirit and nature be at one. Two are the ends of the mysterious plan. Quite a mysterious statement, yeah? I love it. It corresponds to that intuition which we need to arrive at, to find within ourselves. We have to look deeper beyond the seeming creation of Indra. Indra created these forms. He captured the word by his grams, by his mental categories, by subject, object, time, space, causality. He captured the sound, formed it into the alphabets, formed it into the words, derivations, syntax. He created the grammar. He captured the sound to be used at will. But we have to recover the meaning of the sound standing behind. So today we start this journey of recovering and reconnecting the lonely separate consonant with the infinity of vowels. So you can see that R, with its undifferentiated state of existence, absolute existence, is the most used sound in Sanskrit language. I will speak on a little bit because it's important to understand this sound. According to Abhinavagupta and Tantric literature, and not only Tantra, also according to the Gita and Brahmanas, A is the major sound from which all other sounds are produced. And it's quite obvious, yeah? Because A is the, the vocal cords, vibrating vocal cords with breath, which, when modified, create all other sounds. They will be modified by the tongue, that vibration, that sound, original sound will be modified by the tongue, by the lips, by the touches, by semi-touches. All these modulations are here written as alphabet. So it is a sound without which no sound can be produced. So if I want to produce E, I have to do A and then press with the tongue to the palate. I. So it is A modified with the tongue. Or if I want A to be modified to be U, I have to modify it by lips. Oh. If I want to make sound O, it will be in between A and U, on the way from A to U. Oh, so O is in between A and U. It's some kind of withdrawn U, or uh, modified by lips, sound A, which becomes O. And then I have touches, touched sounds, consonants. So my tongue will be touching, back tongue, middle tongue, tip of the tongue will be touching different places in the mouth, back tongue, palate, hard palate, soft palate, cerebrals, dentals, teeth. Then I have lips which will be touching or semi-touching. But the same R sound is behind all of it, without which there will be no heard touch, not understood, not perceived. So you can see that R is the major sound, and it is of this indifferent color, or let us say white color. If we give colors to them, because these sounds are called also Varnamala. Varna means color or a hue. So if we assign colors to the simple vowels, what would they be? So I would say A is white. Yeah? What colors would you give to other sounds? At least we have three colors, A, E, U. To these three, A, E, U, because A is back, E is middle, U is the surface. How would you put the colors? How does it look to you?
I would do silver for E.
Okay, silver is white. Okay.
Okay.
But it's okay. It's like a sparkling white. Okay, right.
Yeah. And gold for the other one.
Ooh, for ooh,
Hmm.
gold. Wow, you're totally spiritualized. But what about these simple colors? Close it to us. Like, we have three colors, red, blue, and white. These are three major colors, and these are three major vowels. So how would you distribute them between these three?
Vladimir, I would let E be yellow, not red, and ooh, blue.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Well,
Yeah, even
I
I
would,
saw E as yellow.
because yellow, yeah, English. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Blue
E
has
as
ooh,
red.
so you're kind of easygoing, yeah?
But
No,
then
it's just
E
that
as red.
E is very focused. It's, and yellow is it's the color of light. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, good, good.
And
Ray,
U is very calming, and so that's the ocean. That's blue.
okay. Yeah, depth, blue, and blue has, oh, and yellow has, yeah, that E element. Okay. That's very great. I would also do something like this. Yes, right. Mm. And you, Rinko, you were telling something. No? Pritu, you were telling something?
Yeah, I was saying red for E, it's like it's in the between. So like, I don't know, just the vital part came. Red and vital is like something I can relate to. Very,
Okay.
yeah, bright and dark and yeah.
Right. And what about the re? R- Red. Yeah, it wants to be right. Energy, that kind of energy. Hmm. Shamini, do you have some ideas? You are into the colors and sounds and bija mantras. Yeah? Usually you have some ideas of these. Just want to know your ideas before I jump into it.
Yeah, I think it's probably just all relative to the person, you know.
Uh-huh. But with this meaning, what we put into it, it doesn't really. Yeah. You see, we want to discover some depth, which would, yes, everything is relative to the mind. Mind can do anything, can assign anything to anything. But that's why we can't trust the mind. Sri Aurobindo said, when I discovered that mind can prove anything, even the opposite to then I stopped trusting the mind. There must be some deeper sense of truth, which mind is just an instrument to put into particular context, as Indra did. Indra now can apply the word to any context and create any significance. Even more, I can say. Sri Aurobindo says, very interesting in the Origins of Aryan Speech, he says that you can arrive at each meaning from every possible sound. How is that possible? So each meaning can be arrived at from any possible sound. You can arrive at this particular meaning. Wow, this we didn't expect. So what are we dealing with then? Where is that deeper meaning if you can arrive at any meaning from any possible sound? When we speak about the meaning and arriving at it, we speak about the contextual meaning. Yeah? If I want to describe, for example, a table, as we spoke about it, I can arrive at it from different roots. I can say that this is uplifting thing. I can say that it is locating thing. I can say it is flat thing. And these are different roots. So I can describe the thing or the event or the power from different qualities of that particular thing which I want to describe. So I can arrive from different roots to mean the same thing as we spoke about synonyms in English. Yes, about huge and big and great and immense ocean. So all of these oceans, great ocean, big ocean, huge ocean, immense ocean, infinite ocean, are arrived at from different roots. And by the mind, they are understood as the same, but by the Brihaspati's word, by the color or the vibration, the hues of meaning, they are very different, and poets feel the difference. Is it not so? So for me, I will tell you what is for me, since you already said, I also was, with E, I was struggling. U is quite clear, it's blue, because association with blue, with water, with, ocean, all these labial sounds are there. Um, and blue color of the sky, universe, all the U will reappear. So it's kind of easy with U. And water is really mediator between different elements. It is connecting everything by the flow, even the flow, blow, all O will be U element in it. But E is intense, and that intensity can be like yellow, as you said, yellow, yes, or something, and R is red. So E and R, most probably R is red, and E is closer to the yellow kind of color, whereas R is a white color. Yeah. For me, at the end, E was red, U blue, R white. White and yellow. What is interesting, your intuition that E can be yellow, is that you will see that in Sanskrit grammar, A and E are interchangeable. They are not the very different sounds. It seems that weakening of A becomes E. The weakened A becomes E in Sanskrit language. And there is a reason for it. And that is the yellow out of the blue, as it were. More specified state of existence. So to say, existence which is in the motion or in the specification becomes E. It's kind of narrowing the scope from undifferentiated to differentiated state. And in a sense, you are right that yellow is closer to it than red. And red is more R sound, R. Would you agree approximately with these ideas? No? Somebody's writing something. I'm. Yeah, we will have to come to the Bija mantras and look into this, what it means. Yes, this I'm is very one-pointed, powerful, piercing, striking, not striking, tending, or holding, collecting the force and intention towards one point. One-pointedness is in I'm. Aum is all-inclusive, whereas I'm is focusing. Well, from what we are looking into now, right now, is it not so? Intensifying. Aum is embracing, holding, pervading. I will speak today on Kavarga, and A sound is used in Sanskrit language in a very interesting way. If you see also in Latin, you see that A has is used with the nouns and adjectives as negating sound. If you put it in front, like Satyam is the truth, Asatyam is not truth. You know? So it's quite interesting that in Sanskrit we do not have lie, the word for lie. We have Asatyam, which means not truth. Not truth is also a very mental translation. It is not totally true. A brings this white color, undifferentiated state of being or existence. And if you put it in front, now the whole idea of etymology of in the words is very interesting. Everything which is in front has more significance and power than everything else which follows. That's why the root has the greatest power in the verb or in the noun. The root part would have the greatest significance. Then you have suffixes which which modify morphologically the meaning of the word. That means it will be a doer or something done or the action. It will tell us how to read the root. And then we have the endings. And the endings will relate the entity, this word, to other words in the text. Endings usually relate like genitive cases. Cases will be relating words to other words, how they are related in this text. So you can see root is the proper meaning. Then we see affixes, suffixes, which are modifying the root in a particular self-modified state, what this word really means within the language. And then endings, how this word relates to other words. So this is the hierarchy of meaning within morphology, within the word. And then there are also prefixes. And this is something interesting, big topic on prefixes. Prefixes or upasargas, and they are called in Sanskrit upasargas, pre-creations, as it were, the creations which are before the creation is taking place. So they are the most powerful in Sanskrit language. They dramatically change the meaning of the root. In Vedic Sanskrit, they are independent words with their own accentuation and not necessarily come and stick to the root. They can stand separately from the root. Far before, at the beginning of the sentence, then the whole sentence goes and then the verb at the end. But that upasarga belongs to the verb, including all the sentence in between, separated by the whole sentence in between. Or it can stand after the verb even, or separately even without the verb. So prefixes in Vedic Sanskrit are totally independent. In the classical, it is different. It becomes dependent on the root. So if we look at this, yes, there is something example. Oh, millions of examples, yes. The whole Vedic, any hymn you open, you will find it immediately. For example, you can say, uh, Akrishnena Rajasa Vartamana. So Vartamana rotating, Avartamana returning. So Akrishnena Rajasa Vartamana, he returns by the dark space. So towards, by the dark space, he comes back. Yeah? So this stands separately from Vartamana, which would not be the case in Sanskrit language. This is the example of prefix separated from the root. So if we take it as augment, as something which stands in front of the word, it will make the word non-actual in usage. So it brings this kind of absolute existence, like white color. If you take the painting and then paint it with white color, you will see something through, like through the veil of white color, but it will be not actual. It will be kind of non-actual appearance. It's a weird comparison, of course. But if you say asatyam, that means the truth which is not actual now. It is actual to some in some other context, in some other time or space, but not now, not in this time. So asatyam means truth which is not applicable to this context. Then you will take augment in the roots and you say abhavat. Abhavat, he was, or avadat, he spoke. And there was one grammarian, a German grammarian, who noticed very interesting thing, that here if you say bhavati or vadati, let us say vadat I, yeah? I is actualizing, a is non-actualizing, as it were. So avadat, he spoke, vadati, he speaks now. So vadat is the root word which means speaking. Vadati, speaking now. Avadat, speaking not now. Speaking some other time. And if we say some other time, it will be only past time. We have only two times, yes? Present and past. We don't have the future time. There is no future time. I mean, there is no future tense. There is time, yes, but no future tense. It's only a modality, like a wish. I will go means I will to go. I have a will to go. I plan to go. I intend to go, but I'm not sure that I will go for sure. I just have an intention. So the time is only now or past, now or not now. The rest is modality. Future tense is only a modality. So you can see abhavat, he was, means he is not now, means in some other time. Avadat, he speaks not now. Vadati, he speaks now. And this e at the end, actualizing vadat, which can be considered as the participle present tense, that means speaking now. So if you see this e, vadami, I speak, vadavasi, vadamasi, in Vedic Sanskrit, e is at the end, which is lost in the classical Sanskrit. And vadasi, you speak, vadami, I speak, and vadati, he speaks now. And then avadam, I speak not now, speaking not now. Avadach, you speaking not now, that means in the past, not actual speaking. And avadat, he speaks not now. This is augment, and which is used with the verbs, mean creating past tense, and used with the nouns and adjectives, creating non-actual application. Asatyam, not true. When it is not in the first position, but in the second position, after the consonant, the sound a does not change at all the meaning of the consonant, has the least interference. When it is not in the first position, when the white color is at the background, as it were, as a canvas on which you paint with other colors, it will interfere the least. It's quite interesting. So that's why you have so many words with vadati, all these you will hear all the time in Sanskrit language as a carrier for all other sounds, because this is the absolute existence on the canvas of which everything else is written. It's the carrier.
Vladimir,
Yeah.
when we add it becomes the not the like when we add to the word, then it's just the opposite of what it is. So when as an alphabet, when we were learning about it, the whole meaning is completely different. So does it? I mean, why is it like that? The whole contrast.
Why, when in the first position, I just said that there is a hierarchy. The first is the main, the next is supportive of it, or interacting this entity with all other entities. So there is a hierarchy of meaning. We have to see it. Why the root is first and there are affixes and endings at the end. By the way, in agglutinative types of languages, such as Dravidian languages, or Ural-Altai languages, or Japanese and so on, or Korean, or Turkish, or Hungarian, or Finnish, you will see a very interesting thing, that they do not allow prefixation. Why? They avoid prefixes altogether. Tamil doesn't have prefixation. No prefixes. Root must be the first. It's quite interesting. They have many affixes, many suffixes afterwards, but not prefix. So the root must be first. This first is important. What is first? That is the determinant, determining the meaning. If a is first, it is like white color, like absolute existence is first. And the rest, what follows, is in the shadow of this. So it is not actualized. It is as if behind the veil, as it were. But if the white color is at the background on which you paint, and that is first, something first comes like K, then K is the first and A is the carrier. It is something which allows it to be. That's why we have this alphabet built with A sound everywhere. K, K, G, G, Ng, Ch, Ch, J, J, Ñ. This is the carrier. Dot, ha, dot, hana, tot, ha, dot, hana, pop, ha, bab, hama, yara, lava, sha, sha, sa, ha. Everywhere A sound. Makes sense? R is important. That's why I spent so much time with R today, because then later we will see how it is modified into E and why modified into E and why it is even considered to be a modification of R. E as modification of R. Well, psychologically, it's quite clear. I press with the tongue forward towards the palate, and the R is modified. The first, simplest modification. I, the simplest modification of R. You can see that shift from R to E. So R, non-actual meaning, kind of making non-actual meaning from any meaning when it is in front, making past tense, and if it is not the first, it carries the other sounds to manifest their meanings. So if we take the whole major topic that R is undifferentiated, creative of space, then we will take these simple roots like ka, kha, ga, gha, ha. There are simple roots. I can take roots with nasals like kan, kam. Kam is to desire, from here kama. Kan, kan is to dig a hole, to create a space. Ga is to move, interestingly, to move ga, and to ga, to sing, glossa from here, voice, language, this ga, gu. If I put them with u sounds, ku, ku, gu, gu, they are all meaning to sound, because u will have the significance of sound. And ka is the carrier, the most general carrier. If you examine all the roots, and we will do this just to see the examples, you will see how the most general significance is maintained through this varga, back tongue varga. It will be always creating space. It will be always supporting the major ka is the space, actually. And we have these two words, sukha. Su means good, kha, good space, which means happiness. Dukha, dukh means kind of dualized or bad or removed or split space. Dukha is suffering. So sukha, suffering, happiness, dukkha, suffering, sakha, together with space, means friend who shares the same space. Yeah? So we will see it inbuilt in the Sanskrit grammar, yeah? And in the meanings of the words, these elements, these simple roots. Once you see this, you are dealing with totally different issue. You're dealing with universal language, which gives you, which justifies all your understanding and meanings of the roots and sounds and words. I remember when we were reading Vedic hymns in the university, we had a teacher who was giving us always new hymns to read in the classroom. We had the special course on Rig Veda. And when we read through, I was able usually to translate the hymn without knowing the words. And she was always wondering, I was wondering, how do you know? Because this word is met only in this hymn, only once, and never again. Did you read this hymn before? I said, no, I didn't read, but I already had this guidance of Sri Aurobindo in the meanings of the sounds, and it is totally justifiable in the Rigvedic language. It is not as easy in the classical Sanskrit. Classical is already deviating from that root sound ideas. But in the Vedic, you can feel it, you can see it, why Rishi is using that particular word and what it could mean and should mean in that particular context. Yeah, once you know these general significances, these varnas, these hues, colors of meanings, you will definitely know what it generally means, and it is easy then to derive it, to get it into the context. And then you see, that's what it is. This is what we will be doing. We will be training our mind to see general significance within contextual meanings. All right, enough for today. I will have to close because I have another appointment coming up now. Sanskrit language is coming. Um, all right. Okay, great. If you have burning question, one, please go ahead. No burning question. I'm closing. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santo niramaya sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukha bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om. Namaste.